Welcome to Comic Power. I am your host, Comic Killer 72. This segment today is called Wicked Wednesday. If you didn't know, Wednesday is the new release for new comics that come out every week. These are my recommendations for the best books to pick up on Wednesday. I will also name one book to be the speculation pick of the week. I know you guys are here primarily for New Comic Day, but there's more going on with the channel besides that. At the top of the homepage, it's going to say home, videos, playlists, etc. You want to click on playlists, and when you look in there, you'll see predictions, top 10s, special reports, just many different programs about comics, and all broken down by category. So if you want to binge watch, click on the subject of your choice, and it will play them back to back without stopping. Thank you for your support and helping make Comic Power #1 in its category. So welcome, longtime followers and newbies alike. Don't forget to subscribe and share these videos on social media so others can learn about the channel to make it grow. I just want to conquer the galaxy. Is that too much to ask for? Okay, let's do what we came here for. DC Comics has given us Batman Beyond #5. This is the featured Batman in the person of Terry McGinnis. He takes on a criminal by the name of Terminal in this issue, and I really love Bernard Chang's take on this character. Future dystopian Batman, I'll take that. Next up is Deathstroke #13. This Bill S cover looks fantastic, and they also have a variant version which shows a new character called the Red Lion, which looks like a ripoff of the Black Panther from Marvel. It looks like a lawsuit that's just waiting to happen, but let's face it, Marvel stole the idea of Deadpool from stealing from Deathstroke in the first place. I guess this is DC's way of saying, hey, we're even, man. Next up is Frostbite #6. This is the finale of a 6-part miniseries. It's the story of a future dystopian world where the Earth has plunged into a new ice age, and how what's left of civilization has to compete against each other to survive in this new world. Think of it as The Walking Dead, but instead of civilization fighting zombies and each other, it's civilization fighting the bitter cold and each other. It was published on Vertigo, which is a division of DC. If you missed it, then you missed an incredible read. Pick up a trade paperback in the future when that drops. Next up is Suicide Squad #12 with a John Romita Jr. cover, which is asking who killed Amanda Waller. I think this is the equivalent of clickbait, because obviously they're not going to kill Amanda Waller. She's the overseer of the Suicide Squad. She's played by Viola Davis in the movies. There's also a Lee Bermero variant shown here. I don't think I like the way that he draws Harley though. Alright, now let's see what Marvel is up to. Let's go ahead and get our Just Say No to Marvel list out the way. And that's going to be Deadpool the Duck, issue #4 of a 5-part miniseries. Who is buying this crap? Oh gosh, it's just, oh man. Anyway, that concludes the Just Say No to Marvel list, and let's get into what I do recommend. And that's going to be The Amazing Spider-Man #24. Every monthly issue is coming with a hot Alex Ross cover already. That's a great bonus right there. This is part of the Clone Conspiracy, a tie-in to that. The Jackal is the big bad in this storyline, but he's not who you think he is. I will give no spoilers though, so you'll have to go back and get the back issues or pick up the trade paperback when it comes out in the future. Next up is Elektra #1 in her latest reboot. This new take has her finding her way out in Las Vegas. As you can see, they have a new costume for her, which shows a little less skin than she usually does. For traditionalists, she still has the original costume and some of the variants, like the Campbell variant shown here. This character has been a fan favorite since her introduction in Daredevil #168, back when Frank Miller was drawing it. The Greek Assassin, operating in Las Vegas. Yeah, that works. Bill S. is staying busy doing artwork covers for both DC and Marvel. That's some serious double dipping, ain't it? I quit trying to pronounce his name. I just can't say it for nothing. So I just say Bill S. Next up is Extraordinary X-Men #19. On the cover here is Magick, and it appears she will be the key between the battle between the Inhumans and the X-Men in this IVX crossover. Magick is the little sister of Colossus of the X-Men. She actually appears in Giant Size X-Men #1 when Professor Xavier is there recruiting Colossus. She's just a background figure in that, so her first real appearance is accepted as New Mutants #14 back in 1984. Magick is a character you should be watching out for. There will be a New Mutants movie. She will be in it. Hopefully Fox doesn't mess it up, being that they own the movie rights to these characters. Speaking of Inhumans vs. X-Men, issue #5 of the 6-part miniseries for that drama is going down here. It makes sense that these two civilizations and species would battle it out, but I think Marvel is stretching this out just a little bit too far, and it's all about money with them. Next up is Thanos #4. Dude, It's Thanos. Of course you should be getting this. They reintroduced his son Thane in this storyline as well. He's the one crushing Thanos, and he's not normally this big, so I gotta flip through this one to see what the heck is going on here. Next up is the Mighty Captain Marvel #2. She will be starring in her own live action movie in the year 2019 with Brie Larson playing the title character. So you should be paying attention to everything that's going on with Captain Marvel. The print runs are pretty low, so when her stuff becomes more and more collectible, you won't be able to find it later. So you better get on board now. Next up is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #16. You may think that this character is kiddie stuff, but you should be paying attention to what's going on. This is her first meeting with Doctor Strange. It's been revealed that this 4th grader is the smartest character in the 616 Marvel universe. So naturally Doctor Strange would want to talk to her. Duh. Don't sleep on this character, and you might want to get some trade paperbacks to catch up on her history. Next up is True Believers Old Man Logan #1. In support of the upcoming Logan movie, Marvel is reprinting and re-releasing some classic Wolverine storylines and selling them for just $1. It's a cheap and effective way of reintroducing this classic material to bring back old fans, and for new fans who only saw the movies first, it shows them how cool comics can be. Like, hey, look how cool this stuff is in the movies. All these ideas came from the comics first. You might want to check those out too, just saying. Next up is our report on independent comics and small publishers. First up is Quantum Teens Are a Go, #1 from Black Mass Studios. This is the story of 2 teenagers that are robbing labs to steal parts to build a time machine. Black Mass comics are very subversive and they're written very well. I wouldn't give up on them because of the shipping delays they've had. I would stick with them. They're just too good to pass up. Next up is Darkness Visible #1 from IDW Comics. It's a world with a very dark future where humans and demons coexist. Detective Daniel Aston has to be the detective who enforces the law between the two sides. But a demon sets up his house inside his soul, so things get crazy then. So if you like horror and you like police procedurals or both, this is a good mashup of that. Next up, and also from IDW Comics, is Highlander, The American Dream #1. These are the latest exploits of Connor McLeod. This character has been in existence since 1986, and he's a warrior / time traveler. In this adventure, he goes from the American Civil War to the 1950s Manhattan toward the Gathering in 1986. People under 30 may have no idea who Highlander is, but he's a cult 1980s science fiction hero that still has a following. Next up from Boom Studios is Joyride #10. This is the same creative team that gave us The Hacktivist and The Maze Runner. It was only supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries, but it was so successful they made it an ongoing series. You got 3 wild teens in outer space having adventures. What could go wrong, huh? Next up is another big week for Image Comics. Seriously, you should be reading at least one Image book. They are fantastic. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary, so there's a whole bunch of homage covers we're going to get to. First up is Curse Words #2. It's the story of a wizard that shows up in New York and he casts spells and puts on a show, and then people fall in love with him, but they don't know that he's an evil wizard. But they're about to find out pretty soon. Issue #1 was well received, and it's going to a second print, which looks like this. You know, you really shouldn't trust these wizards. But that's not all. Issue #2 gives us this very cool looking homage cover, which is a swipe of Invincible #1 shown here. Hold on to your butts because it only gets cooler from here. Next up is also the second issue of The Few. This is the Image debut of the acclaimed writer Sean Lewis and his science fiction epic. I discussed issue 1 last month and I didn't like the art style, but someone liked it, so it went to a second print. Issue 2 of The Few has a very nice homage cover, which is a swipe of Jonathan Hickman's East of West #1 shown here. Yeah, that's pretty high on the cool factor. Next up is Descender #19, and this is probably one of the best books you're not reading. It's a story of a boy robot who's on the run for his life. He may be the key for the struggle between organic life and artificial intelligence. It's the winner of an Eisner Award for Best Multimedia Art. Issue 19 gives us this very cool looking variant cover. It may look familiar because it's a swipe of Pit #2 from 1993 in the early days of Image Comics. Next up is Monstrous #10, and this is a favorite of mine. After a long hiatus, it's back for more action. It's the story of Makai. She is the chosen one of a group of animal-human hybrids that are persecuted in early 20th century China. It was nominated for Eisner for Best New Series, but it lost out to Paper Girls, which is another Image book. Man, these things are good. And in a week of cool homage swipe covers, Issue number 10 of Monsters probably has the best one because it's giving homage to Spawn number 1. Other than The Walking Dead number 1, this is probably the most important Image comic ever released. That's it for the swipe variants, but there's still more good Image books out there this week, including the Speculation Pick of the Week. And that's going to be The Old Guard number 1. This is a book that's probably going to fly below the radar because there's so many cool homage covers come out this week. And this book has no variant, no hype, no nothing. Or does it seem that way? It's written by Greg Rucka, who's probably one of the most underrated writers out there. He gave us Lazarus, Black Magic, and he's currently writing Wonder Woman. Old Guard is the story of immortal mercenaries that if you can find them and you're willing to pay them, they'll go to battle for the right price. Sort of like an immortal A-team. With everything going on this week, I expect for retailers to underorder this. I expect it to be a great read and good long-term speculation. Next up is Loose Ends, number 2 of a 4-part miniseries. This is a Southern Fried crime drama. It's written by Jason Latour, who's currently the artist on Southern Bastards. I don't expect it to do well speculation-wise, but I expect it to be a great read though. Next up is The Fix number 8. This is the finale of the first story arc about 2 corrupt cops in Los Angeles. It's a dark comedy, and shown here is the mayor who is also corrupt, and you can see below his podium, he's got a bong and panties and all kind of crazy stuff. Just imagine a movie where Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn acted like they did on Wedding Crashers, but they were cops. That would be The Fix. And it's absolutely hysterical. Next up is Surgeon X number 6. It's the story of a dystopian Britain. New diseases have arisen that are immune to antibiotics, so mass panic ensues, and Surgeon X is on the underground using experimental medicine that has not been approved by the government. In real life, unfortunately, the artist John Watkiss has passed away from cancer, so I don't know if this book is going to go on hiatus, but it's really excellent. Get the trade later if you missed it. Next up is Sun Bakery number 1. This is not the debut of this comic. It was actually released on another independent publisher called Press Gang before this. But being on Image will expose it to a larger audience. The first Press Gang releases are extremely rare, and when you find them on eBay, they're selling for about $30 to $35. You can see the difference between the Image version and the Press Gang version here. It's an anthology book of many different short stories in it. One of them is about a culture where guns are obsolete and swordplay is the norm. Sign me up, I'll take some of that. And last but not least, let's see what Valiant is up to. And that's going to be Divinity 3, the Stalin Verse, number 3 of a 4-part miniseries. This is some of the best illustrated science fiction you're going to find on the market. In this story, the Valiant heroes are communist soldiers doing the dirty work of the Soviet Empire. It's an alternative timeline where the Soviet Union won the Cold War. This is all killer, no filler. Pictured here, starting from the left going clockwise, is Divinity, Commander Bloodshot, Mishka, Exo Man of War, Shadow Man, and Ninjak in the middle. This is Eisner-worthy stuff. Next up is Britannia, which is going to a trade paperback, which includes all 4 issues from the miniseries. This is a great way to get the complete story of this incredible miniseries. In the year 65 AD, the Emperor Nero sends his top detective to investigate what's going on in Britannia. It's written by Peter Milligan, who's famous for Shade the Changing Man. It's a great piece of fiction that's blended into real facts and history. And lastly, we have Harbinger Renegades number 4. This is Valiant's premier superhero team, and the first live-action Valiant movie is going to be a Harbinger project. I promise to do a Harbinger case study in the future so the uninitiated will know what's going on in the Harbinger universe, because you're missing a great read because you probably don't understand it. Well, not yet anyway. That's about it for today. Thank you for watching Wicked Wednesday, where I review all the new comic books for a new comic day. Be sure to follow my blog at comicpower.net. On social media, follow me at facebook.com/comicpower.net and comicpower-universe.tumblr.com. And don't forget twitter.com/comicpowersub. I also sell comics on eBay at this link. This is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye. And don't forget to share this video, click on subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell everyone you know about this channel to help it grow. Thank you for your support.